y'all, it's Sparkle, and welcome back to Sparkle Speaks, where we put our purpose in place to allow our calling to draw you through content. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend, and invite them in. On this episode, I am so excited. I have my baby brother / twin. He's joining me here today on this episode, and it's so crazy. When I told him the title of the episode, he was like, okay. I don't think it really registered to him what we would be talking about at first, because like I said, and I'm going to always say it, I'll go to God about the different topics and different things that he wants me to speak about. So I told him, I was like, God told me incubated with Israel. And he was like, okay. So this topic is called Incubated with Israel. And it's crazy. Like when God speaks to me, I go and like do research and like really figure out like, okay, why did he say this? Or what, like I need a little background. Like I need a little more, you know what I mean? So I started like looking up different things about incubation. And the incubation is the supporting the development of a fragile developing system, right? So I'm like, okay, now let me go into the Bible. Let me try to find something that, you know, that's connected, because I know God gave it to me for a reason. So I'm reading Romans, and Romans 29 says, for those God foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the likeness of his son. So God had already had a predetermined plan for his chosen ones. So I'm like, okay, God, you know, I know Israel is a chosen one. So, okay, keep on, you know, revealing it to me and giving it to me. So I always felt like, you know, mommy always like had you covered as like a bird who's sitting on her eggs and waiting for her eggs to hatch. Like, she wouldn't let you go. Well, she didn't let none of us go anywhere. But like you, it was like you were like...
Yeah. Right.
The favorite.
Okay, I would say that.
You were the favorite. And she had you like under her wing and cover. It was like a bird, you know, covering her egg that she knows is the chosen egg waiting to be hatched. And then you started 3 years old, you preaching and around the house. And, you know, you were only boy in the house with 3 girls. Like, how did you feel about that? Like,
well, all right. There is one confession that I have to make before I fully answer this question. You don't know this, but for the longest time, I was upset with you.
Why?
I was really upset with you. Simply because I was always known as Sparkle's brother.
Really?
Everywhere I went, they're like, you're Sparkle's brother. You're Sparkle's brother. You're Sparkle's brother. And it got to the point where it's like, dude, I do have a name, you know, like I am my own person. But then when I got older, I was like, now I'm Sparkle's brother. Like I'm famous, you know what I'm saying?
Like, not you famous.
No, seriously. But
wait, you was mad at me for that?
No, I was just joking.
Oh.
But growing up in the house with 3 sisters and a single mom, it was, for me personally, and you say this all the time, like when our older brother passed away, when Yasmin, you know, passed away, you felt like you had to be the protector role.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like I had to be. Simply because, like, there was no other male figure in the house. Mm-hmm. Like it was only me. Even though I was only like 3-4 at the time, I just felt like I had to step up to the plate. And this is why now, you know, mommy, she don't really tell me everything. She tell me bits and pieces because she's seen when you guys were hurting or when you guys were, you know, going through different situations. She's seen how angry and how upset I would get.
Right.
Because it's like, I wanted to do something, but I was the youngest, so it was like I couldn't do anything. But it's like, don't mess with my sisters. And you know, I'm the same way, you know, right now, this very moment. Like, I feel like I have to be, you know, that protector role. So for me, it was just always I always kept my eyes open. I was always on the lookout.
Right.
You hurt them, I hurt you. So
Right.
that's how it was for me growing up. I just, I always wanted y'all to be safe and comfortable with life.
Right.
Really, yeah.
So, mommy, like I said, she had you under her all the time. And when I left, I was gone. Deuces. I'm out.
Gone and didn't look back.
I did not. I said, I'm not looking back. And when I went and got my own place, I know Bo, she ended up going and getting her own place. And then it was just you and mommy.
Yeah.
How was that? Because I was never there, and I've never even asked you that.
Well, I'm be honest. I moved out of mommy's house when I was 16, going on 17. To be honest, my junior and senior year, I was living with my high school girlfriend and her family.
I ain't know that.
Yeah. I was.
Mommy did not tell me that, so she was fronting this whole time.
Yeah.
I ain't know that.
Yeah, I was living with my high school girlfriend, her mom, dad, and little sister. And then, I graduated. We went through that process. Did a semester at MCC. I was still living with my girlfriend, and mommy would literally come to the house and pick me up and drop me back
I'm calling her after this, because girl, what?
Yeah.
She would have never let me do that.
She literally.
That's what I'm talking about. That favoritism junk. Because she would not.
Well, yeah.
I don't even think we were able to have boys in the house.
Yeah.
So to allow you to go live with somebody at 16, yeah, right.
I was out. I was living.
I'm in my
during
feelings.
college.
Because what?
Yeah, literally, she would come and pick me up. She'll call me and be like, "Hey, you need a ride?" Like, I'm going there. Like, she'll come get me and take me back, drop me back off, and I don't know.
You better not be fronting, because I'm calling her after this.
I promise.
Okay.
I would say that. I would say the name, but I don't want to expose nobody. But when it was me and her, that is when I seen mommy's most vulnerable moments. That's when I seen her cry a lot. I seen her pray a lot. I seen her fast a lot. There was times where, like, I would come home from school and she would just be in the living room, like, with gospel music, just praising and praying, like, for all of us. It don't matter what we were doing, where we are. So for me, it was just always, she taught me how to always keep God first when it was just me and her. She taught me, like, through everything that we deal with, go throughout life, just always keep God first through it all. There was times where we didn't see eye to eye, and she got angry at me. Mommy gave me one whooping in my life.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That favoritism junk.
She gave me one whooping in my life.
She would tell us to go get switches off the tree.
Yeah, she gave me one whooping, and then, you know what? I actually asked her. I said, "Mom, why don't you like whoop me? Like, why don't you whoop me?" And she was like, "I'll be honest with you. You've grown out of whoopings. Like, you're too big." So I'm like, just because I'm this tall.
You is a little big.
She was like, "No, you're too big to get whooped." So now when I got in trouble, she made me write 200, 300, 400 times. I'll listen to my teacher. I'll do what my teacher say. I won't disrespect her. I won't act up in school. And that's why some people say I write like a girl now, because of my penmanship.
Right.
But yeah, she really instilled in me discipline and respect. Like when it was just me and her. And like I said, we didn't always see eye to eye, but
right, for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, it wasn't
smooth sailing.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
That's good. So, I got a question. I don't think I've ever asked you this.
What?
You ever drunk or smoked?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been to the clubs. I did all of that. Oh yeah.
Where was I at?
Yeah, Vinyl, One, even clubs.
And was like drinking liquor?
Yeah.
Never knew that.
Dude, I was what was it? What did I used to drink all the time? Jack and Coke.
Okay.
Jack and Cranberry.
So at what point in your life did you do that? Because, we started preaching. You was 3 years old, preaching. You had your first sermon at like what, 12?
12. Yeah, I was 12.
And then you said you moved out of mommy house at 16.
Yeah.
So at what point in your walk did you like drift away? Why did you drift away? What made you drift away? And what lesson did you learn when you came to? You know what I mean? When you're like, oh, nah, this ain't for me type of thing. Like what?
So
tell me, because I never knew none of this.
So it was, oh man, it was my senior year of high school. No, junior year of high school. It was my junior year of high school. And it was me and a couple of my friends. We were walking to school. And one of my friends, he pulled out a blunt. He was like, yo, look, like, let's do this. Like, before we go to school, I promise you it's going to make your school day a whole lot better. And at first I'm like, nah. Then I tried it. And then I was like, I like the feeling. And I got comfortable with the feeling. Times moves on, like I said, I'm doing my semester at MCC, and I'm around people who have no idea who God is. So now I'm in a place where it's just like, I know who I am, I know who I'm supposed to be, but it's like nobody else is doing the God thing, you know? So I tried to fit in. I tried to be like them so they wouldn't see the real me. I put on a mask and put on a covering and tried to do the things that they did. So it was like, well, I didn't want to feel like an outcast. You know what I mean? So it was a night where we just all went out. We went clubbing, and my first drink ever was Remy. That was my first drink ever.
Disgusting.
I drunk it. I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
So then I switched.
That's nasty.
Yeah, I was never the Remy or the Hennessy or like those. I just never. It always. I was more of a
light.
Yeah.
That's why we twins.
Yeah, I was light, and if it wasn't light, then it had to be some kind of juice or something in it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went out clubbing. We was at the bar, had Remy. Nah, I didn't like it. And then that's when the Jack and Coke came into place, and that was my number one. Then that went on for like a couple months or so. But when it really, really hit me, like I have to do a complete 180, not 360, because when you do a 360, you always end up in the same spot that you started. But I have to do a complete 180. When it really hit me is when I tried to take my life. That's when it really, really hit me. I was sitting in a room and I was just looking out the window, and I'm like, now mind you, this is like March 30th. My birthday is April 2nd. So this was like a couple of days. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be in here. Like, I'm not supposed to be in here. Like, I'm in Rochester General Hospital, mental psych ward.
Right.
I'm not supposed to be here. So then I started talking to God. I started praying, and I'm like, I need an answer. I need an answer.
What was your question to him? Like, what did you ask him?
Why? Why me? Why do I have to go through all of this when this person's life is peaches and cream, and this person seems like they're not dealing with anything? He took me to the book of Exodus, and he took me to the scripture where Moses was fighting a battle with the Amaleks, and they're fighting, and Moses became tired. And God put him on top of the mountain, and he put Aaron and Hur as his side. And he said to Moses, he said, as long as your hands are lifted up, you will always win. Moses became tired in that story. So Aaron and Hur came, and they lifted Moses' arms up. And with his arms lifted up, they won the battle. So I said, God, what are you trying to say to me? He said, as long as your hands are lifted and you totally surrender, you will never lose. That right there, I'm done. It's over. I'm not even about to keep on trying to do this thing. And the moment where I tried to take my life, it was a dark space for me. It was a dark moment. Looking back, I was just like, Izzy, what are you doing?
Yeah. And you never really spoke on it either.
Yeah, man. The night that it happened, I was in my first marriage with my first wife. We really weren't on the best terms at the time. Like, things were rocky, shaky. We got into a disagreement a little bit before that.
Right.
And I was just at a point where I'm like, you know what? Don't nobody care. Like, if I leave here right now, everybody's life will be so much better. Like, that was really the mindset that I was in. So, I did it and went to the hospital. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you. The only thing that I remember about actually being in the hospital at that moment is waking up and seeing Mommy and April around me and standing there praying. And I literally woke up to them praying, and Mommy was speaking in tongues. And then I went back out. After that, I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, it was a dark time.
And that hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
Because boy, if you
Yeah.
I would have lost my mind.
It was just dark. It was dark. I had so many people around me, but I felt so alone.
And it's crazy that you say that, because I'm not claiming it, but I was in that. You know what I mean? When I fully surrendered my life to God, I was in that, feeling lonely and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not claiming it no more, because I tell God, like, I don't ask God for things. I be telling him, like, God, I need you to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to, and I'm in that season right now, telling God, like, I need you to take this feeling away from me, because I cannot do it on my own.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel like that. It's not a happy feeling.
At all.
And I don't like it.
At all.
So where you were, that's where I was,
Yeah.
I'm going to say,
Yeah.
And that's still like a touchy subject for me when you talk about it in your messages, and you be like, I almost took my own life, because it's like, me being an older sibling, I always feel like, I'm the protector, and I feel like I have to, like, how did I know that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did I know you felt alone? How did I not know that you just simply wanted to take your life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nobody never really know.
Nobody, like, nobody knew. Simply, like, I didn't really open up, and I didn't talk. I didn't really share too much what I was going through in that time and in that moment. I tried to keep a smile on my face and, have people see me happy and in good spirits. But in all actuality, man, I was going through it. I was going through it. Fighting from paycheck to paycheck, fighting to get gas in the car. Like, what am I gonna eat? Like, it was yeah, it was a dark time. But like you said, I'm so glad that, oh man,
that season of your life is over, right?
over.
Because that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't believe I've ever been in a space where I wanted to take so I wouldn't even know what that feels like. But I thank God that he brought you out of that. You know what I mean? Because that's just I wouldn't. On the episode with Bo and Krista, I was talking about like how you have your own separate relationship with your siblings and connection and stuff like that. And me and you, I felt like our connection, like, I'm the oldest, you're the youngest. Well, I'm now the oldest and you're the youngest. And I felt like, we're connected because I felt like we went through the similar situation when we was kids.
Yeah.
We didn't have our father in our life.
No, not at all.
So, I felt like I needed to, I didn't want you to feel what I felt, because I met my dad when I was 12?
Yeah.
So me growing up and I see But when Krista's dad always around, but I didn't have mine, that left a hole in my heart. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then with you, when you came along and your dad wasn't around, I felt like I needed to keep you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Covered, keep you protected. Because I didn't want you to
Absolutely. Yeah.
feel the things that I felt.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we have our own separate relationships, but I felt like that's what pretty much drew us closer together because we didn't have that father figure.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That the father figure part really plays a big part in my life personally, because it teaches me what not to do. It teaches me to. And I have three beautiful children. And I say this all the time. I even preached this one time. I have 3 beautiful children, but none of them are biologically mine. Mm-hmm. But I treat them like they are mine simply because I see that they need a father figure. Mm-hmm. And with me growing up without mine, I mean, Lord Jesus, I went from an infant to 21 years old. I was just talking to Kyron about this earlier. Went from an infant to 21 years old, and then at 21, he reached out, and I only got like 2 years with him, and then like now to this very moment, we don't talk at all. But one thing I had to learn when it comes to that is it's not my loss. It's theirs. You know what I'm saying? And what made me realize that is when I was having a conversation with my father, and he looked at me dead in my eyes, and he said, "I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I don't owe you anything." And the Izzy in me wanted to say, "Negro, you owe me your life."
Yeah.
You owe me your life. You didn't come to a basketball game. You missed a football game. You missed me walk across the stage. You missed all of this. Mm-hmm. And you still feel like you don't. Cool. That moment made me say, yeah, it ain't my loss. It ain't my loss. Because if you can miss so much time with your child, and so many different things that they did in their life, and you can still be able to feel that way,
right? Wow.
It's in God's hands at this point. It's in God's hands. Do I love him? Absolutely. That's my dad. Will I always be there for him? Absolutely. He can pick up his phone and call me right now. I'll answer. But am I going to try to continue to get in a ring with somebody who doesn't want to fight? Nah. It takes 2 to box. Yes. It takes 2 to box. I can't be the only one that's given 100% and you don't want to give me anything. So, yeah. And with that, I just learned, and I think that's what made me cling more to mommy. I wasn't a mama's boy, but I was.
Oh, because
I didn't want to be, but I was.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't want to be, but I was.
Okay, because you was.
and that's what really made me cling to her, because, like I said, in the times where it was just me and her, like, she showed me so much. Like, this is how you do this as a man. This is how you put on a suit. This is how you tie your dress. Like, all of that I learned from my mom. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, as long as I got one good one, I'm all set.
Right.
I'm all set.
That's good. So, like, right now, because you congratulations, just got ordained as a reverend at the age of 25. Well, soon to be 26.
Soon, yeah.
And a couple of weeks ago, well, like a week or two ago, you had put on, a week or two ago and prior and before, you were putting up on Facebook like about like people talking about you, about people scandalizing your name, about you losing friends, and you don't simply know why, and it was like bothering you. Remember, I text you, I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, the crazy thing about it is a lot of times people have to like learn to take their own advice. And I'm still learning that too. Because the things that I say out of my mouth, I sometimes don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be like, you talking like that. You need to be listening to yourself in situations.
Yeah.
But I want you to know, like, I understand now why God gave me Incubated with Israel. Because when it comes to spiritual incubation, God is trying to groom you, cover you, and pretty much put you in a space where it's just you and him, so he can let you know what your purpose is, what your next assignment is, and what you're about to do.
Yeah.
And you probably didn't know that, didn't see that, because you had everybody around you. You know what I'm saying?
Literally. Yeah.
Y'all all was going to church together. Y'all was doing different things together.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was like they were dropping. You know what I'm saying? They were going. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't see or know why, or they were talking about you and you didn't see or know why.
Yeah.
And you was using, Facebook as your outlet, like checking people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, every action don't need a reaction.
Yeah.
Whatever they say, let them say it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they do, let them do it. Because you are in your incubation period where God is trying to cover you spiritually, and he don't want distraction to pull you away from where you're going.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because did you text me or call me? And you was like, I now know why God gave you Incubated with Israel. And I'm like, okay, what is it? You was like, I'm not going to tell you till we go on a podcast. So I want to know, because you won't tell me. So please enlighten me, because just give me confirmation, because I probably already know, but I really don't know what exactly you're going to say. So tell me what you're talking about.
So I told my sister, well, when she texted me, the Incubated with Israel, I asked her, I'm like, did mommy ever tell you the story of me being born? Mm-hmm. She was like, no, or whatever. And then she did something that I asked her not to do. She asked my mom a question, or whatever. She got me on the phone on FaceTime with, our good friends, Mama Cunningham from Florida, Auntie Wendy, all of them. I told her the first part of the story, which was when I was born and when I came out, I wasn't breathing. So to continue that story, one day, I don't know how, me and mommy was sitting in the living room. I don't know how this topic came up. I really don't know how. But she was telling me, all of us being born and the sizes and the pounds and ounces and all this stuff. And then she got to, my story, and she was like, when you came out, you was, in other words, dead. You were dead. I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, yeah, when you came out, you were gray, blue, purple.
Yeah, she told me that.
Like you weren't breathing, like you were dead. So what happened? Like, how am I here? Like, what do you mean? Then she said, she was like, the doctors, they spanked me, whatever, and didn't do anything. Still no response, no reaction. They put me on the regular breathing machine, still nothing. So what they had to do was take me and put me in an incubator.
Stop playing.
I'm so serious.
For real?
They put me in an incubator, and I had to sit there. I literally had to sit in an incubator. I think she said about between 4 to 6 hours. I don't know. But between that 4 to 6 hour mark, I was in an incubator.
Wow.
And that's how I began breathing, and I came to life and all that stuff. And when I came out of the incubator is when I was fully, awake and all of that stuff. So when you texted me and was like, Incubated with Israel, I'm just like, Jesus, this is crazy, because at the same time, people are just dropping and falling, and I don't have the same friends, and I don't have the same connections, and I'm got to meet new people and do some things from scratch. This is why I was incubated, because literally air, the breath of God literally had to come inside of me for me to be who I am. Saying all that to say, I can't fit in. I can't be around people. I can't, do everything else that other people do, simply because like you said, it's my second season of being in my incubation season.
Yeah.
I mean, I came out, had to go in, had to get life and be able to breathe, and now it's just like
your spiritual incubation,
you know. And once you're in that incubator, you're alone. You're by yourself. Can't nobody go in there with you. So it's just like, all right, God, I see what you're doing. I see the elevation. I see the positions and the places that you want for me, and now I'm understanding. Everybody can't go. It doesn't mean that I don't love them. You know, it doesn't mean I don't care for them. It's just simply, you can't go with me. And it's not me doing this. It's God doing this. Like, man, I tell people all the time, like, I still tell people right now, like, man, I didn't want to be a preacher. Like, yes, I was preaching and I was running around, but when I really seen the behind the scenes and nitty and gritty of them, I'm like, I don't want to do that. But it's like every time I steered left or went off path or went off track, there's always somebody who see me and go, hey, I want you to come preach at my church. Hey, I want you to do this. Hey, I want you to do that. So it's like in my stray,
you can't run from your calling.
You know, like in my stray away moments, it was still people like, nah, you're this person. Like, we need you to do this. And I'll put this on Facebook and I'll say it, and I keep saying it, and I'll forever say it. When God brings elevation, he causes separation to get to your next destination. And like I said, that does not mean...
You better talk that word.
That does not mean that I dislove you or I dislike you. It just simply means, like the book of Romans said, I have to come out and be separate. If we are true believers, if we are true Christians, if I'm a reverend, if I'm a man of God, if I'm a preacher, I can't be around people who do all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you really figure out and become the person that God wants you to be, you're going to have to separate.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, everything can't go to the next destination.
Right.
So when you go up, you got to separate so you can get to your next place.
Yes. And the other night when you mentioned Pastor Cunningham, she's a powerful woman, but she was like, what she said is it real? It's real. Is it real?
Is it real?
She was like, he is called. And I literally wrote it down. She said, confident, anointed, loving, loyal, empowered, and determined.
Yeah.
So I wrote it down. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm about to use that on my podcast, because I can literally explain each and every one of those.
Yeah.
So confident, ever since you was a little boy, in the book of Psalms, it says, out of the mouth of babes.
Yeah.
So ever since you was a little boy.
Yeah, I still remember that green chair, that green rocket chair we had.
Preaching, putting out, banging on like pots and pans. You're banging on the cymbals. You're preaching. You were your own musician.
Yes, I was.
You did the drums. You act like you was playing the keyboard. Then you did your praise and worship. You took your offering up, and you did your.
I sure did. I did everything.
While Krista and everybody like, oh, shut up, like be quiet. But guess what? You were confident in what you were saying, and you kept going.
Definitely.
You kept going. Anointed. When she said anointed, what came to me was, when I knew you were anointed, when we were at Pastor Parham Church and you preached, you were 17, and you called up that lady, I don't remember her name, but you called out you said, I'm gonna just say a random name, who is London? And she said, my granddaughter. You called out this lady's granddaughter's name.
Yeah.
And you told her, you said, tell her don't get in the car or something like that. Like, tell her don't get in that car because I see a car accident. And the crazy thing about it, I think she said that somebody was about to come pick her up or something. I don't remember it verbatim of what happened. But in that moment, I knew you were anointed. For God to give you somebody's name and you call out the name to this exact person, and she said, that's my granddaughter. I said, oh, I ain't messing with him. I don't know if you remember, but that day at the end of the service, I came to you and I was like, so what do it sound like when God be talking to you? Yeah. You remember that?
You did, yeah. You did.
I was like, dang, that ain't never happened to me.
Yeah.
Like, what do it sound like? You was like, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
And from that day, I was just like, dang, God ain't never talked to me. But now I realize where I am now. I know why God didn't talk to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know why it didn't happen for me, or it just simply wasn't my time yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that moment, when that happened that day, when you called out that lady granddaughter's name, I was like, oh, I was like, oh, he liked that. He liked that. And then loving. Everybody you come encounter with, like, you love on them. They love you back. You know what I mean? Like, you're just a lovable person. And everybody's not a lovable person.
No.
Everybody does not, you know what I'm saying, get that from people, or get the vibe of, oh, I want to be around him. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to be around her.
Yeah.
Like, you have that. You're like me, because people like that. That's another reason why you're my twin. Loyal. That's like me too. Like, when you have a relationship with somebody, you're loyal to them.
Yeah.
And whenever you part ways with that person, it hurts.
Oh, man.
And I know it hurts, because it hurts me. So I know if it hurts me, it hurts you too.
Yeah.
Because we are so similar in so many ways. And you are like, your loyalty is unmatched. It's like mine. You know what I'm saying? And me, who I used to be, I take loyalty so serious. The person I used to be, like, if you take it there,
Yeah.
if you taking an inch, I'm going a mile.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would never cross you.
Yeah.
You feel me? I would
all.
never cross you. But now you crossing me, I'm going to cross you times 2.
Yeah.
That's who I used to be. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it was right, or that's something that I should have been doing.
Right.
But that's just how I felt in that moment, because I know who I am and as a person.
Right.
And then when I'm loyal to you and you one of mine, I hold that dear to me. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So it's like, who I am now, it's like, I'm loyal to you, but like, I got the love of God in me now. So I'm gonna just walk away, and I'm just gonna cut you off cold turkey when I see you. God bless you, and keep it pushing.
Yep.
Empowered. I'll skip empowered, but determined. You do not let anyone tear you away, or pretty much like veer you off of your assignments, because you're determined to do what God called you to do. Yeah. Not only that, you know who you are, and who you are right now, you don't let anyone take you away from that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I'll go back. Empowered. Empowered is bringing the called all together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's bringing confident, anointed, loving, loyal, determined all together, and it makes you empowered.
Definitely.
So now I know why Mama said, oh, he's called, and he gave you, she gave you what each of those meant. Yeah. Which each of those letters meant. And I just thank God for you, because you played a major part in my transformation as well. Because when God first spoke to me, you were the first person I called. Yeah. I called you that morning, and I said, I didn't even tell you what happened. I said, when God started speaking to you, what was your experience? Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to see if it was similar. And when you said, when I put my hand over my right ear, God is speaking to me, and all I could do was cry. I don't even think you knew I was crying. No. But I was crying on the phone, because it happened to me the same way. My right ear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was just like, oh, so yeah, we is really twins for real. Like, I'm the oldest, he the youngest. I'm a girl, he's the boy. But we it feels like similar things be happening with the both of us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I just was like, wow. I was lost for words when you told me that.
Yeah, it was something, and I say this to you all the time. It was something that just warmed my heart, because, like Bo said in the last episode, this was also something that I was praying for, something that I still pray for, not only for you, but for all of y'all. My prayer is, I want to see my whole family back in church. That's my prayer right now. Mm-hmm. And that's the assignment that I'm working on in this present moment. I want my whole family back in church. And when you reached out to me and you said, you know, how this, how that, how'd you do this? When did you get your tongue? When did you do? I'm just like, she's getting it. She's getting it. She's getting it. I'm like, man, like this for the longest time is just something that I've always wanted. Just us being how it used to be way back when we was in church from Sunday to Sunday. Monday we had Bible study, Tuesday youth night, Wednesday choir rehearsal, Thursday. And not saying we need to go back to Sunday, but just that feeling of
making it a part of our lifestyle.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, it's a good feeling because it's like, not only am I here, but my family's here.
Right.
So yeah, your transition story is just, man, something that I'm just like, yeah. Yeah. God, you did your big one with that one.
He really did, because I was like a mess. And he turned me from a mess to his best.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like I was at my lowest, I feel like. I was going through things like, you know, with my kids and stuff like that. And the crazy thing about it is the devil knows what to attack. You know what I'm saying? You know what? No, let me take that back. God knows what to allow the devil to attack.
That's right.
To get your attention.
Yeah.
And that's literally what happened to me. Because like I said in my first episode, I said, I felt like everything happened to me to get my attention besides taking my life. So I felt like maybe God was saying like, okay, let me put this attack on her kids. And if she don't get it this time, the next time will be that. You know what I'm saying? Because even back when I was 26 years old, getting a DWI, you know what I'm saying? Like just being reckless, just out here doing things. You know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I shouldn't have. And even in that moment, like you're mad young and you just being young and dumb. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, wanting to be a part and wanting to fit in. And me personally, I felt like for me it was, now I don't live at mommy house because she kept us so sheltered. We couldn't go nowhere. We couldn't do nothing. We could barely go to our family member's house. Once I moved out, I was like, oh, I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'm outside for real, you know? So I just thank God. You know what I'm saying? I thank God for what he has done and what he's continuing to do. I thank him for, and I'm a strong believer in everything happens for a reason, right? There was somebody, one of our siblings, that had to be that one to always, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That chosen one, because who else was I going to go to once I transitioned or transformed? Who else I was going to go and ask like, you know what I'm saying? Well, what was your experience? And what was, you know what I'm saying? Who else was I going to go to? Bo and Krista, they haven't fully transformed yet. Yeah. So, but you were there, you know what I mean? So God knows what to do, how to do it, where to do it, the what, when, and why, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I just thank him for that. And is there anything that you want to give, like any encouraging words or anything you want to give to someone that's watching, that's struggling with not only suicidal thoughts, or, you know, maybe on a path like they're feeling alone, or maybe they want to, like they're right here at the door, but they don't want to walk in because they're scared what's on the other side. Is there anything that you want to encourage and tell the people?
Walk in it.
Literally, right?
Walk in.
That's all you got to do.
But doing this and actually surrendering and giving your all to God is the best decision. The best decision that you can make in life. You know, some people say, oh, man, me getting married is having my kid. And yes, those are all fine and dandy and celebratory moments. But having that true, real relationship with someone that you know is never going to leave you, no matter what you do. My pastor, the Reverend Stephen Johnson at Greater Harvest Church, he teaches this, and this is one of our 6 teachings that we teach at our church. Once you are saved, you are forever saved. Saying that to say, when you confess with your mouth and you believe in your heart, you're saved.
Yes.
Obviously, there has to be some evidence that back that up with you being baptized. But once you confess that, can't nobody take that from you.
Right.
Can't nobody say you're not a believer. Can't nobody say you saved. Obviously, our lifestyle and our actions still have to line up.
Right.
But once you make that confession, that's what it is. And honestly, the thing that I feel like people just need to understand is when we truly let go and let God, all things will work together for your good. Every single thing. There's been times in my personal life where it's just like, I want to be in control of this. Like, I want to handle this. I want to do this. Like you said on Facebook, I put up that long status, and my wife would tell you, I was about to pull up. I was about to pull up. But it's like, nah.
Right.
Why am I trying to fight a battle when I serve an undefeated champion?
That part. You better talk that.
Why do we still try to fight and do all the things that we do when God is just like, yo, I'm right here.
Yes.
Let me fix it. Let me work it out. Let me handle it. So to those that are straddling the fence or wondering, do I make that decision or what do I do? Do it. Because once you do it, the weight of your shoulders is just lifted off.
Yes.
The weight of the world is lifted off. Like when I fully, totally surrendered in that psych ward, to this very moment, even sitting here right now, I never had another thought of suicide. I never had another dark moment. I never had, I want to try that again. Never.
Yes.
Never. Ever since I totally surrendered, I've never wanted for anything. I've always got from point A to point B, didn't have to walk. I didn't have to, and you know, I'd say this. There's times where I used to call it, Sparkle, you got $20, you got $20, you got $20. I don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. I'm happy. My marriage, now that I'm remarried, is better. My children are happy. When you fully, totally surrender, like,
yes,
it's just like, I can live.
Yeah. And
I can live freely and be happy.
Yeah.
And some people be like, oh, well, you can't have fun as a Christian. That's a lie. You can still have fun and be saved, but just have fun the right way.
Yes.
So if you wondering or straddling or thinking about it, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. It's the greatest decision you ever make. I promise you.
Yeah.
Better than a drink, better than a smoke, better than a CI. With my big brother Sean calls cigarettes CI. It's a feeling of wholeness. Like you have a reason to keep fighting, keep going. You know your purpose. You know your worth. So yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Well, I just thank you. I thank you for coming on and trusting the God in me.
Always. Always.
Because I didn't know that. I didn't know that, but he definitely said incubated with Israel. So I do thank you for coming on with me and just being, just like I said in the beginning of my introduction, allowing our calling to draw you. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And what better way to draw people through our story? If you never been through nothing, how would anybody, you know what I mean?
Preach it all the time. You ain't been through nothing. You can't tell me nothing. I'm sorry.
How are we going to say anything?
I don't trust nobody with no battle scars.
Exactly. So I just thank you for, coming on this episode with me.
Yeah.
And I thank you guys for tuning in, diving into a little bit of our lives and what we've been through. And stay tuned for our next episodes coming up. And until then, I want you to ask a friend, have you heard Sparkle speak? Come to rise.